life after death of your child is being like on an island separate from the mainland where the normal people live. You so badly want to go back there, but you never can. You're stuck on the island forever. After the last 2 weeks of feeling the pain of families who lost their children tragically in Ireland, these words, scripted by Merope Mills, following the death of her 13-year-old daughter Martha, left a deep impression on me. Merope describes how Martha's future was brimming with promise, crowded with plans. Martha's death had nothing to do with insufficient resources in the health system, but rather a catastrophic error made by doctors. Martha's mum blames herself for having such blind faith in the doctors. In her own words, we had such trust. We feel such fools. Dwelling on Martha's death, I came across a review of Emma O'Donoghue's new novel, Haven. The novel is based on a visit by the author to the Beara Peninsula and a boat trip around the famous Skelligs in Kerry. O'Donoghue describes herself as transfixed by the spikiest landscape that she had ever seen. The surroundings gave birth to a new novel about 3 monks commencing a new life and a new settlement on the Skelligs. Friar Art is the principal character in the novel, and he proclaims to his colleagues that there's to be no trading with the mainland, which was perverse when the island is just off the coast of Kerry. Friar Art further declared, "We won't trade with the corrupt world." Martha's mom's description of losing a child to death and as being as if she was stranded on an island, and Friar Art's determination not to trade with the mainland, both in different ways, converged in my mind as I reflected on today's scriptures. Luke appears to be offering an insight into kingdom economics, just as the prophet Amos expresses contempt for economic systems that trample on the poor. As inflation impacts your family and us here in the Redemptorist community, the economist David McWilliams, in an article during the week in the Irish Times, asks, is Ireland going back to the 1970s when immersion neurosis reigned? McWilliams, of course, is referring to the 1970s energy crisis, when leaving the immersion on became the most vexed issue in families. The article goes on to describe how, prompted by the Israeli-Arab war, money flowed from the West to energy producers in the Middle East, whose economies found it difficult to absorb vast sums of money, and consequently, the Middle East lent money to countries in Africa and Latin America. Some of this lent money found its way into good projects. In other cases, the funds were spent on vanity projects, dreamt up by corrupt leaders and dictators. Jesus in Luke's Gospel indicates that we have something to learn from economics. The insight being that the principal function of economics is to build trust so that all human beings can flourish. In a world where fortune tellers are more sought after than priests or prophets, the journalist Tanya Sweeney writes that there is something strangely reassuring about a third party you don't know saying you will not be alone forever or success is in your future. It's almost like a higher power telling you that it will work out the way it is supposed to. Sweeney is describing what her fortune teller told her, adding, once you believe that fate will eventually throw you a bone, life becomes so much easier. The truth is, and you know it and I know it, that life is not some shiny box. Sometimes it's really hard. These are the words of the coordinator of the Matt Talbot Trust in Ballyfermot, Dublin, a centre that cares for prisoners and people struggling with addictions. In this centre, people accept each other's struggles and hold each other's struggles. Martha died in a ward called Rays of Sunshine. Tanya Sweeney looks for insights from fortune tellers. David McWilliams describes how the dictator that ruled Zaire, now known as the Congo, threw millions at an event called Rumble in the Jungle, engaging Muhammad Ali and Foreman in a famous boxing fight in the jungle. The Matt Talbot Trust demonstrates that economics is not about gain, but rather about building trust and confidence so that every individual can flourish. Our mission in life is to stay engaged with the mainland and rumble from money and vanity to trust and non-judgmental love. Amen.